Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And it was a breezy, windy weather window throughout most of the day today as we head up to beautiful Lake Chelan, where we are seeing some high clouds there, but an awfully nice day with temperatures in the upper 60s to even lower 70s around north central Washington. But breezy, we talked about it being breezy today. Expect more of that. Not so much tomorrow, but we will see the winds kick back up again on Friday. Peak wind gusts for us in the Wenatchee area, about 24 miles an hour. That's on Friday, about 26 miles an hour. That's the strongest wind down in Ellensburg, and it will continue if you travel down the I-90 corridor east into Ritzville and then up into Spokane. So get ready for a windy end of our week. But with Apple Blossom kicking off this weekend, will it be windy for the parade? We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says there's been a rash of incidents recently involving thieves stealing global positioning systems off farm implements. And Douglas County Port Commissioner Jim Huffman announced he intends to file for re-election this fall. But first, we begin tonight. Voters in the Lake Chelan School District sent a resounding no to a $75.5 million bond proposal that would have paid for a new high school and extensive renovations to the existing high school, the elementary school, and the construction of a new sports facility. Slightly over 57% of ballots counted rejected the proposal. A 60% yes vote was required for the measure to pass. Opponents of the proposal cited the flat enrollment numbers for the district that didn't require the adding of additional facilities. Well, the Grant County Sheriff's Office says there's been a rash of incidents recently involving thieves stealing global positioning systems off farm implements. In a warning issued to farmers, the department says there have been about $90,000 worth of GPS systems stolen from unattended farm tractors in the county. The Sheriff's Department says the GPS equipment is easy to remove and can be sold at a hefty price to people trafficking in stolen property. Farmers are urged to take extra precautions, and anyone with information on the thefts is encouraged to contact the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Douglas County Port Commissioner Jim Huffman announced he intends to file for re-election this fall. He sat down recently with NCWLIFE's Steve Hare.
The retired Chelan County PUD manager has served on the three-member governing board since 1994. At that time, he was appointed to fill the unexpired term of a commissioner who moved out of the area.
And was recruited by a banker and a developer. And my predecessor, who had moved to Spokane, he was wanting to abolish the port. Well, and that's basically the genesis of the recruitment, folks that didn't want to see the port go away, and folks that I had known before and had some confidence in my ability to promote.
Huffman's bid for re-election comes at a time when the port is actively exploring the possibility of consolidating with Chelan County Port District. The talks are prompted in part by Douglas County Port's inability to pay its share of the cost to run Pangbourne Airport.
We faced a situation where Douglas County was not able to meet under the contract that we had, meet our share of the financial obligation, but we're retooling that to comport more with current realities, and I think a better and stronger partnership in the longer term with the Port of Chelan. It makes sense being one economic unit in the valley. It makes sense to promote and foster that cooperation.
Huffman also notes that there are several major economic development projects in the works that he wants to see materialize, including plans to clean up and repurpose the former Silicon plant in Rock Island. In fact, the city and the port are pursuing plans to transform the old riverfront industrial site into a mix of office space focused on technology, research, and development, education classrooms, restaurant, brewery, hotel with indoor and outdoor event space, and waterfront activities. Steve Hare, NCWLIFE News.
Coming up next, a local educator has been named Washington State Elementary Principal of the Year. The idea of some sort of merger or consolidation between the ports of Douglas and Chelan counties is still in an exploratory stage. And at what has become an official kickoff to the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, Chiefs for a Day and their law enforcement mentors will arrive in a motorcade at Memorial Park shortly before noon tomorrow. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back. And in other news, the Association of Washington School Principals and the Elementary School Principals Association of Washington has recognized Alfonso Lopez, principal at Lewis and Clark Elementary, as the 2019 Washington State Elementary Principal of the Year. At a surprise awards ceremony yesterday at the Wenatchee School, Heidi Sutton, president of the Elementary School Principals Association of Washington, made the presentation.
Your amazing principal, Mr. Lopez, is being honored as the Principal of the Year for the elementary schools in the entire state of Washington.
The prestigious award celebrates individuals who set high standards for instruction, student achievement, and community involvement, as well as individuals who advocate for education. Lopez credits his career success to having mentors and a solid support system of colleagues and family encouraging him on his journey to being an educator.
I'm humbled to receive this award, and I still think that I have a few more years to go, and for those years that I have in my life and education, I'll go with all my heart trying to make education even better. And thanks to the staff, thanks to my team of administrators in the district, thanks to the parents of this school, thanks to the kids, I think we still have a lot to learn, a lot to accomplish, but why not? If not now, when? If not us, then who? We have to make it together, and that's what we're doing.
Principal Lopez will represent Lewis and Clark Elementary, the Wenatchee School District, and principals across the state at the Washington State as the Washington State Principal of the Year. He will also travel to Washington, D.C. to compete for the National Associations of Elementary School Principal of the Year award. Well, the idea of some sort of merger or consolidation between the ports of Douglas and Chelan counties is still in an exploratory stage. That, according to Port of Chelan County Commissioner Rory Turner. He told Steve Hare earlier today that the idea was first raised by a facilitator working with an airport task force that was formed after the Douglas Port said it could no longer meet its financial obligations for joint funding of Pangbourne International Airport. Turner said the airport currently is losing about $300,000 a year. The words used by the facilitator were, quote, functional consolidation, Turner said.
The essence of what, at least from what I understand, is the two staffs have actually gotten together and talked about this. And as you can imagine, there's a considerable savings in
Economy of scale, and
economy of scale, duplication of efforts. You really have three different organizations. You've got Pangborn that has to act independently, and then you've got Port of Douglas, and then you got Port of Chelan. So there's a lot of there's just a lot of things that are duplicated there. I don't know where it starts and stops, but it wouldn't surprise me. I've heard numbers anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000 in duplication of services. So. I think we owe both of our respective counties a long look at this, and I don't know if in the past any two elected boards have chosen to form any kind of consolidation and come across the river and try to do this, but I think this is the type of leadership that we have to be thinking about in these days, especially when there's some cash crunches out.
Turner said if both ports agree that functional consolidation is the way to go, the three-member commissions from each port would likely hold joint meetings for decision-making.
As your talks proceed on the possible consolidation, certainly there are going to be those in Douglas County who are going to be a little worried that, well, we're not talking about the dissolution or dissolving of the Douglas County Port District, are we?
Oh, no. Let's just talk about this. To me, this is a perfect match. If you get up to the 30,000-foot level and look down, right now, Port of Douglas is, they've had some financial struggles, but they're sitting in this area of just huge economic opportunities. That's where the growth is going. That's where everything's moving. There's a lot of industrial land for sale.
And their Wenatchee Landing project to the north.
Very cool. Yeah, that's all great. But we over here don't have a lot of land. But what we benefit from is some very bright people in the early 1960s bought 100 acres at Old Station. And so, we've developed a $50 or $60 million business park there. And, hats off to our predecessors of commissioners and staff that got all that done. So we benefit from that. So now we put these two ports together and just think about the opportunities we could, provide. What's their weakness is our strength, and what is our weakness is their strength. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. Maybe it makes too much sense.
And economically speaking, it benefits both counties.
Well, it should, if we do it right. I mean, if it happens, if that's the recommendation and the Port of Douglas adopts it and the Port of Chelan adopts it, then this is just operating together for efficiency. And and that could last for 10 years or more. It's just an attempt to start doing things, smart.
Well, and what has become an unofficial kickoff to the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, Chiefs for a Day and their law enforcement mentors will arrive in a motorcade at Memorial Park shortly before noon tomorrow. At an official ceremony on the main stage from 12:10 to 1:10 p.m., the young Chiefs will be officially sworn in. It's the 17th year of the Chief for a Day program, which celebrates the lives of kids who are terminally ill or have a chronic disease. Law enforcement, including Wenatchee Police, Washington State Patrol, Chelan County Sheriff, Douglas County Sheriff, Washington State Fish and Wildlife, and East Wenatchee Police participate in that event. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time, Mary Maids.
I'm worried working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, we continue our look at this week's NCWLIFE magazine with producer Caitlin Hedersheet as she follows the restoration of the Larry's Drive-In sign with Graybill Signs.
Casey Sekowich, tube bender at Graybill Signs, is working on the new neon chicken that will crown the top of the new sign. Casey has been tube bending throughout the state for the last 20 years.
I was taught by a tube bender years and years ago, and I just kind of followed on how he did it and kind of changed things a little bit as I went along. And there's books on tricks of the trade for it and all kinds of little things you can pick up, but kind of what you're comfortable with.
He says tube benders should think of themselves as illusionists at times, bending glass into the forms that can be recognized from a distance.
It's kind of hard to tell what this is until you're really done with the whole process. So if you were to look at it that way, it doesn't look like much. But the whole idea is everybody's going to be looking at it front to back, so then you'll think that's a circle more than just a lump of stuff.
For this project, the sign will keep its original neon lettering, but a new neon chicken is what Casey is spending his time carefully crafting for the very top of the sign. He says the business had replaced the neon chicken previously before this restoration with a clear red unit.
So that was the idea with this, is to restore it back to the way it was originally and using colored glass instead of clear red. But he still wants to hold on to this just in case somebody destroys it, and we can replace it real fast. And this is the difference. This has got neon in it, and then that one has argon and mercury in that one. I traced that off the original one that was on there, so needless to say, I'm not a very good artist. I couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler, but somehow I can do this. When I draw it out, I plan it out how the colors are going to go together. I put thought into what type of gas we're going to put into it as far as neon or argon. And that all depends on what colors you're putting together.
Working on the outline of the chicken, Casey is using white, red, and yellow glass to create the new version.
I kind of saved this part of the chicken for last because I knew it would be kind of frustrating. There's a lot going on here. Because a lot of times you can't just bend in a straight line, and you can't start from one end and go to the other. You have to kind of think about how you're folding this, and are you possibly going to be running into your own bends. And sometimes I can't, like you see on these where I pre-put the electrode on the end of them, sometimes I don't get that luxury of doing it that way. I have to either make it in 2 pieces, which I'm kind of doing here, which I think is going to turn out to 4 pieces, or I have to start from a top corner and kind of work my way out, and you have to skip bends and be able to measure that out and then come back and then close it up. The biggest thing is being able to visualize what you're about to do. And sometimes you have to practice it before you do it, because you can be a long ways into a unit, and then when you make that mistake of either touching hot glass to hot glass, you're done. It could ruin your day. Sometimes gravity can be your friend. I'm gonna heat it up. I have to say that last bend I pulled off was a lucky one. That was kind of a tough one. I didn't expect it to work out the first time.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to the details of all of that, let's take another beautiful look from our Sky-Fi tower camera down at beautiful Lake Chelan. Boy, wouldn't you love to be there right now. In fact, maybe some of you are as you're watching us at the 5 o'clock news, 6 o'clock or 10, whatever it may be. But it was a nice day to be anywhere around north central Washington today, with high temperatures hovering around the 70-degree mark. We did see some windy conditions out there, and we'll talk a little bit more about out wind coming up too. But there you have it, 70 our unofficial high today. 64 is where we should be for a high right now. 47 is where we started off the day. 42 is normal. 93 our record high back in 1977. Can you believe that? 93 degrees in April. 28 our overnight record low, and that was in 1985. Sunrise this morning was at 5:56 and will set tonight at 8:03. Putting that surface loop in motion now, let's take a look at it. Tonight, increasing clouds. We will see a northwest breeze tonight as well. We're calling it windy right now. It will go down to a breeze a little bit later on tonight. Clouds moving along, an area of high pressure that will move in and bring us a few more clouds as we get into our Thursday. But that should also quell some of those windy conditions that we're seeing around north central Washington. So just expect this band of cloudiness to move through. Here it is then in Montana as we move into Friday, leaving behind it some windy conditions and some mostly sunny skies. But we could see wind gusts possibly as high as 30 miles an hour on Friday. For Saturday, of course, the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade for Apple Blossom, mostly sunny skies for Saturday. Unfortunately, it will be a little bit breezy Saturday as well, and cooler. We're going to stay with the cooler weather into Sunday too as a weak cold front moves through. We will remain on the clear side though with mostly sunny skies. And as we get into our next work week on Monday, mostly sunny. We will be a little bit warmer with temperatures getting back to about where we should see them for this time of year, because keep in mind we'll be below normal throughout the most of the weekend. For Tuesday, partly cloudy skies, once again mild temperatures with highs then reaching back into the middle and maybe even upper 60s. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. 42 degrees our overnight low tonight, 70 tomorrow to kick off the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. 72 and windy on Friday, still some breezy conditions on Saturday, and look at that cool down, especially as we get into Sunday. 62 degrees for Sunday, and then 65 Monday, and up to 67 by the time we get into next Tuesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go. Our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. Now, Grant, we were talking about before the Mariners game today, watch Felix throw a no-hitter. Well, he didn't throw a no-hitter, but it certainly was a pitcher's duel, and he gave up just 3 hits on the day. Well, not only did the Mariners not hit a home run again today, but they managed just 2 hits in a pitcher's duel in San Diego, falling 1-0. Padres' Chris Paddock was dominant, allowing 1 hit in 7 innings with 9 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Felix Hernandez looked like his old self, going 7 innings, allowing 1 run on 3 hits. That run a solo shot by Ian Kinsler. Hernandez struck out 8 batters to surpass Don Drysdale for 36th all-time in Major League history with 3,488 strikeouts for his career. Seattle returns home with a 3-game losing streak now and hosts Texas in the first of a 4-game series tomorrow at 7:10. It'll be Adrian Sampson taking on Marco Gonzalez in that pitcher's matchup tomorrow. Now let's go back to what happened last night, since I didn't get a chance to tell you that. Seattle held homerless for only the second time this season, second game this season. They fell to San Diego last night, 6-3, thus the 3-game losing streak now. Eric Swanson gave up 2 home runs to the Padres' one-man wrecking crew, Franmil Reyes. Yes, his name is Franmil. Swanson took the loss, going 5 2/3, allowing 5 runs on 7 hits with 3 strikeouts, no walks. Seattle limited to 7 hits, 2 each from Mitch Haniger and Tim Beckham. The Mariners coming home, hoping to do a little better than last time they were home, where they lost 6 straight. Well, the Wenatchee Panthers did well at home. They used a big 5-run first inning to jump out on Sunnyside, cruised to an 11-0 victory at Rec Park on Tuesday. Jalen Hagum hit a long RBI double in that 5-run first. Dalton Thomas delivered a big 2-run single in the 4th. Then it was Ty Waterman finishing things off in the 5th. I joined Joel Norman in the booth for the call right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Clippett fires. This one swung and hit hard in the air to center field. Moving back is Almaguer. That's going to go over his head, bouncing up against the ivy. All the runners had to wait, but now one of them's going to come in to score. That's going to be Haynes, and it's 3-0 Wenatchee on a deep RBI double to center by Hagum. The flag in left field, even the flag's out in center by the Apple Bowl, definitely going out there pretty fast and steadily right now. Now it's almost moving toward left center a lot more.
Yeah, they had the forecast to maybe gust up to 25 miles an hour tonight, and that's definitely 15 right now.
Base hit to center field. That's going to plate at least one. Now the second runner comes around, and he'll score as well, standing up. So it's a 2 RBI single for Dalton Thomas, and it's now 8-0 Panthers. Yeah, Serta jumped a little early, which makes me think that there might have been a little extra bit of wind. You can see the flags out here, Eric. They're really going hard out to left center. And underneath the glove, that should do it off the bat of Waterman. Another run coming around for good measure. He will come in to score. I believe that will be the ball game. Should be a 2 RBI single off the bat of Ty Waterman, and yes, that will do it. Wenatchee picks up the 11-0 10-run rule victory here against Sunnyside today.
Also in baseball action on Tuesday, Eastmont split a doubleheader with West Valley, winning the opener in 5 innings, 11-0, but falling in the nightcap by a final of 6-4. Waterville-Mansfield traveled to Lake Roosevelt, came up short to the Raiders, 7-1 the final. On the Les Schwab Prep softball scoreboard from Tuesday, Eastmont split a doubleheader with West Valley on the road, winning the opener 11-0, falling in the second game 6-4. Cashmere had no trouble sweeping Omak, 22-zip and 16-6 the finals there. Chelan was overwhelmed by Warden in 2 games, falling 17-8 and 15-2. Cascade doubled up on Okanagan in a single game, 6-3. Also same score for Lake Roosevelt and Waterville-Mansfield, with the Raiders coming out on top. West Valley edged Eastmont 2-1 at Wildcat Stadium last night to claim their outright regular season Big 9 boys soccer title. Rams held a 2-0 lead into the second half when the Wildcats finally got on the board on a penalty kick in the 56th minute by Jorge Cabrera. Also last night, Jose Camarillo scored on a penalty kick in the 25th minute for Wenatchee. Then in the 68th minute, freshman Tyler Wisen scored his first career varsity goal. Wenatchee shut out Sunnyside 2-0. Also Cascade trouncing Chelan by a final of 6-0. Wenatchee Panther boys golf team placed first in the Big 9 pod number 5 at Black Rock Creek Golf Course in Sunnyside yesterday. Wenatchee finished with a team score of 344, edging Davis by 6 strokes. Eastmont finished in 4th with a 377. Big 9 girls pod number 5 yesterday at Yakima Elks Golf Course. Davis took first with a 376. Eastmont second with a 399. Wenatchee 4th with a 431. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Hope you're having a happy Hump Day Wednesday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCWLIFE channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.